I just finished watching the series premiere of the new NBC show, New Amsterdam. The show is a medical drama, and it's starring Ryan Eggold as Dr. Max Goodwin. Dr. Max Goodwin becomes the new medical director at New Amsterdam Hospital. Dr. Max Goodwin's view on medicine is that he wants to try to put medicine back on the right track as treating patients first and worrying about money after. The main medical case of the series premiere was a boy from a foreign country came over by airplane, and when he arrived, he basically got straight into a taxi and went straight to the hospital. He ended up collapsing in the waiting room before eventually being taken to an isolation room. They feared that he had Ebola, but it eventually turned out that he actually didn't. There was a whole thing of how he actually contracted the virus that he had been injected by a known terrorist in the area where he lived. Turns out he actually did not know that he had actually been injected with a virus. He thought it was travel shots, things you have to take before you travel certain places. There were a few other cases. Pretty much all, I think, the main doctors of the series had their own case kind of going on, with Goodwin kind of running around checking on all of them, trying to basically kind of running himself crazy, trying to check on everybody and make sure everything's running smoothly. Other than the other doctors in the show just treating their patients, we didn't really get to know much about any of them, just that they're doctors. To be honest, I can't even really remember any of their names off the top of my head because they may have said them once or twice in the show. I'm sure that will change in the future as the show progresses, but in this first episode, it really didn't tell us much about any of them. We did learn that two of them were in kind of a relationship together, or probably will be definitely in the future. But other than that, it really didn't tell us much about any of them in their personal lives, just them treating their patients. Much of the beginning of the episode was really kind of character setup, setting up the cases, kind of introducing you to the characters we're going to be seeing throughout the series. And towards the end, we kind of got into some things that were a little bit more interesting. We met Dr. Goodwin's wife earlier in the episode and then learned that she was pregnant. Towards the end of the episode, she ended up coming to the hospital, having medical issues with the baby. Luckily, it did reveal that the baby was going to be okay. It didn't tell us if they did say they may have to do a C-section, an emergency C-section to take the baby out, but we didn't learn much more than that. I'm sure that's something that probably is going to continue on maybe to next week. Shortly after that, we learned that Dr. Goodwin actually has cancer himself. Something that when he was told, he didn't really seem all that surprised. Specifically, one of the other doctors mentioned that you kind of already knew, didn't you? I don't know if that means he'd already been diagnosed previously by another doctor, or if he just kind of self-diagnosed himself and just kind of knew that the news wasn't going to be good, so kind of just kept putting it off. There were some things I really enjoyed in the show. Number one, obviously, for me, is Ryan Eggold. He's an amazing actor. I loved him on The Blacklist, so I'm very happy to be able to see him in another show. I also really enjoyed the music in this episode. I feel like the song choices were great, and I feel like there wasn't too much music or not enough, and they were very well placed throughout the episode. When it comes down to it, I pretty much just love medical dramas. I remember watching reruns of ER early in the morning when I was a kid, so medical dramas have always been a type of show that I really enjoy a lot. It wasn't really a surprise to me that I was going to watch this show and probably enjoy it quite a bit, and I really did. However, with that being said, I did have some problems with the series premiere. The biggest problem being that there was nothing really in the show that really made it stand out. Now, I know you could probably say this about most medical dramas. They are all very similar. Only minor things really set them apart from others. If you compare this show to something like Chicago Med, they're almost identical, really, except for a few character differences and stuff like that. But the main format and all is very much so the same. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just with already so many other medical dramas on TV right now, and some of them very good. I don't really know where this one's going to fit in with all of those. The market right now seems kind of saturated with medical dramas, and I'm already watching so many of them. Taking on another one feels kind of odd, really. Overall, I think the premiere was very good. It accomplished what it was supposed to do. It introduced you to the characters. It introduced you to a few cases to kind of pique your interest. I'm hoping as the series progresses, the cases are going to get a little bit more interesting. None of them in this episode really like drew me in or anything. I think those were really kind of just to have there as they kind of set the stage for the characters and stuff like that for the future episodes. I think if you enjoy medical dramas, this show is probably for you, just like it is for me. If you don't like medical dramas that much and you're just kind of a kind of person when it comes to these types of shows, you're probably not going to enjoy it any more than you enjoy the others. Like I said, they're all very kind of similar. So, what was your thoughts on the series premiere of New Amsterdam? Did it pique your interest? Are you going to continue watching, or is it a one and done for you? Let me know down in the comment section below. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content from me, please hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.